days like today. I just got in from surfing out here in Hawaii on the North Shore, and pretty amazing just to get to grow up and surf waves like this. I think from an early age I had a pretty profound respect for nature just from being out in the ocean all the time.
She knows it's not right. There ain't no use in
I guess I've been touring for a long time and really enjoying playing live music, and then got to a point where I wasn't sure if I was going to keep touring or not. But the idea of making the whole tour a fundraising tool for nonprofit groups that do such amazing work, because I travel around and I meet all these people and see these wonderful things they're doing. And I also help run a nonprofit group here in Hawaii, and I know getting the funding is one of the hardest parts. So all these wonderful people doing such good things, I just wanted to be able to contribute what I could to keep these groups running.
Don't tell me, you might just let it go.
Well, we definitely see a lot of the single-use plastic after effects, because if you go to the east shore of any of the Hawaiian Islands, you basically see that it's almost like a filtering system out here in the middle of the ocean, out in the middle of the Pacific. And it's just a wall of plastic along the beaches on the windward sides of the island. And so that's pretty eye-opening, because there's some good waves that we surf on the east sides of the island. And you go down there expecting just to go have a good surf, and sometimes it's pretty depressing to see all the plastic. I guess it's almost like a wake-up call.
Eyes, and I know that when she said she's gonna try, well, it might.
So I've heard about sustainable coastlines and this program they're working on called Love Your Coast, which sounds like a really cool thing. It sounds, there's some projects like that around here, and I think they're really good to get the kids inspired. I think for one thing, you get kids out there learning about stewardship, learning about taking care of the area that they live in, but also it's kind of going back to the single-use plastic. I think it's really important, because to do a beach cleanup, you take care of the problem for that day, but we all know it's going to come back again unless we take care of the bigger issues. So it's a really good way, I think, to take that first step of teaching kids about the harm of single-use plastic bags at the stores and water bottles and all these things. These little changes we can make in our day-to-day life, they can make a big effect. So I think it's good on two levels. You clean up your hometown, and also you learn about the bigger issues. So it's a good thing for the kids.
My way, 'cause no one, no one likes to be let down.
Welcome, Jack. Good to see you.
Nice to meet
Very
you.
nice
Yeah,
to see you.
Likewise.
Welcome to our little abode.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Thank you also.
Beautiful.
Thank you also very much for doing Eden Project TV.
Yeah,
Stellar stuff.
It's quite our pleasure.
I was very interested to see a lot of the stuff that you've been doing environmentally, sort of in Hawaii.
Sure. I think it has so much to do with my wife, to be honest. She's been there with me the whole time, and as soon as we started getting a lot of attention from the music thing, she really saw the chance for us to be raising money for good causes. And then we started realizing we could, back home in Hawaii, start doing things to raise money for the kids in the schools. And my wife taught for 4 years, and so I don't want to blame it all on her, but she was definitely a huge part. Sometimes I'll get in a conversation and be like, that sounds like a great idea, let's do that. And then the next day I'll be kind of off surfing or doing whatever. And my wife's the one that has the focus and says, okay, well, I made this little checklist of the things we were talking about, and let's start going over that. And so a lot of the praise I get for the work we've done with environmental stuff, it's really has a lot to do with my wife and her kind of taking the spotlight that's on us and shining it on other groups that are doing such good things. But anyways, hopefully that starts to answer your question.
No, well,
it's my wife's fault.
I thought one of the things I enjoyed about your website was it rather cleverly avoids labouring the climate change issue, but actually is really strong on all the things you would need to do which would actually affect the climate.
Yeah, well,
is that a deliberate?
Yeah, you nailed it on the head. For me, it's I kind of learned early on, you come into this thing because I enjoy writing songs and being alone and kind of getting in the studio creating this stuff. Then all of a sudden it's people remind you, hey, you got a spotlight on you, you should use that for things you believe in. And so then you start doing that stuff, and then somebody says, oh, it's going to really work well if you partner up with this on this recycle day in Hawaii, where it's it's with the government, these funds, so we can go a lot further. So all of a sudden you sign on. The next thing you know, it's like the whole thing changes around. Your name's on this deal, and I kind of learned through a few different experiences that avoiding the politics of it all was the best way for me to stay inspired to keep doing things with the education that felt like it was working, and not get so sick of it and just decide not to do it at all. You know, it was sustainable in another way. It was sustainable for me to keep doing this stuff. And so yeah, avoiding politics as much as I can, and you know, avoiding things that are the hot topics, but instead of being, you know, attacking the symptoms, it's like, let's go to the root of it and start working with kids on, you know, basically trying to cut down on food miles, doing things that are, you know, helping recycling in Hawaii. There's a bunch of good groups that are already working towards getting the bills passed and things like that. Let's focus on getting the kids ready, so if this stuff does happen, they even know what in the heck recycling is. We're so far behind in Hawaii. There's no curbside recycling on
Really?
most of the islands. So we're actually working where the kids have recycling bins in each classroom, and then the student body, they go around and collect it at the end of the day. And so we're just teaching them on this smaller level the whole system of, as if each room was a house, and here comes the truck, you know, that picks it up and takes it down to this area, and then we have another group come in and pick it up and take it down to the recycling centers. So we're just trying to prepare the kids for when, you know, when that next step is taken.
Where do you see Jack Johnson in 5-10 years? I mean, do you see yourself doing more of the same, getting angrier alongside your music career? How do you feel the world is going?
You know, it's funny because I get on the cycle of right around now, if I do an interview and I'm in the middle of a tour, I usually think this is kind of the last one. And I'm not trying to be so dramatic, but whenever I get in the middle of this whole thing, I kind of think this feels pretty good. I can't believe it's gotten to this point, you know, and it's I think I'm ready to go home and then just kind of not necessarily start the whole cycle up again. I thought that about the last couple times. And then usually once I get out and back home and I sit around for a year, or not sit around, but you know, get home and I'm not in the public eye, I don't have to see cameras at all, I kind of forget about it all, and I end up writing a bunch of songs along the way, and the next thing I know I got all these songs and it sounds kind of fun to get in the studio again. So then I go in the studio and it's been far enough that I forget there's a lot of work to it, you know.
So like childbirth for women?
Yeah, I think it's exactly the same thing, to be honest, because I've been through that 3 times now, and I've seen that process happen where this, you know, seems like that would be it, and then it's like, it wasn't that bad, I don't think, right, honey? Oh, no, not at all.
Yeah, you still got the bruises to prove that you said that.
But so anyways, I mean, right now in the middle of this cycle of starting a tour and everything again, part of me thinks that this might be it, you know, but in the sense of touring. I mean, touring's never really seemed like something I was going to continue to do. And then making it a fundraising tool made it all pretty rewarding to do again, and it made it actually fun to get out on the road. And it does become our family vacation, because we wouldn't necessarily get all the way out here, and it's seems like, oh, there's a bunch of nice groups to raise money for, so we might as well do it, and then get to bring the kids out. They get to see a lot of the world, and it's been nice for us.
What you when you say what you are, and when you blame everyone, you broken king. What you change the frame, or what you when you take your aim at the sum of everything. But you and your heart shouldn't feel so far apart. You can't choose what you take. Why you gotta break and make it feel so hard? Lay there in the street like broken glass, reflecting pieces of the sun. Not the flame. You cut the people passing by because you know what you don't like is just so easy. It's just so easy. But you and your heart shouldn't feel so far apart. You can't choose our